at the moment we are going year to year, and with the likelihood of this probably being it, but who knows how those things work, man. My thought right now is only to help this team win a World Series. That's it, and so I'm sure that I'll be asked questions all throughout the year, and if I ever know something, there's a chance I might let you know.
Mm-hmm.
I promise if I ever come to a decision, I'll consider letting everyone know. How about that?
Fair enough.
Adam, Rob Rainser, how did these negotiations compare to the negotiations a year ago? And can you tell us anything about we know how all the contract was structured last year. Can you tell us anything about this year?
Yeah, so last year's contract was more about me needing to prove, mainly to myself, but then to my teammates and to the Cardinals that I still had something left to give and that I was still capable. If I'd have gone out this year and been injured throughout the season and struggled left and right, then I would have gratefully and thankfully walked away, knowing that I had a decent career and with a great organization and been okay with it. But I felt like I got better as the season went on, which completely contrasts the year before that and the year before that, where I was injured and really just trying to figure out a way to make one more start here and make one more start here. And this year, the training staff just did an amazing job of keeping me prepared for each and every start. I missed one start with a little back spasm thing. I think that was it. Or no, it was a little hamstring thing. I missed one start, and as the season wore on, I began to get more confident in my abilities and the kind of the different game that I was kind of featuring as opposed to how I used to pitch. But I really enjoyed pitching down the stretch. Really enjoyed pitching that postseason. That was big for me, man. I really wish we could have won a World Series, obviously, but just feeling those juices flowing like that for the first time in a few years, it was an empowering feeling. It was something that I wasn't quite ready to walk away from, and just supremely confident in our team to give me the chance to do that again. I think we have the nucleus of a team that can go out and win a World Series. So we had a team. That was what's sad about this last postseason, was that we had a team that could have won the World Series, and we just didn't play well enough to make it happen. I wasn't telling y'all a story, man. It was at the end of the year. I had to sit down with my wife and my kids and ask them a couple different times, not just one, a couple different times, if they were, confident and not confident, if they were comfortable in me going back to play baseball again. It's just as I have to keep reminding my lovely wife, this is not about me anymore. There's just way more people involved in it than just me. It's her program. We're trying to raise 5 kids now, and we got soccer and on different sides of the town, a couple times a different week with different girls at different times, and we have volleyball with 2 different girls going on at different times, and third girl wants to play volleyball also, and now we just started playing basketball too. We got 2 little girls in basketball now, and they're having a great time, and my 2 middle daughters really love playing golf, and so they're trying, this whole week was Monday and Tuesday and Thursday is basketball for those 2 girls, but my other daughter wants to play golf on Wednesdays and Fridays when she's not playing basketball, and so it's like, my older daughter, she wants to be singing lessons and piano and all this. It's just tons of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it just is a lot of stuff. So I had to make sure that everybody was good with that, and my wife loves St. Louis. I love St. Louis, but I think my wife loves St. Louis more than I do, and our girls love their friends up there and the sports they play up there. So everybody was on board, and when I heard that, like for sure, a couple times over that I believed them, then we moved forward with trying to get something done.
Hey, Adam, it's Mark Saxon. Congratulations. Had the Cardinals decided that they were going to go another direction, whether it's, give Ponce de Leon a shot or Austin Gomber, would you have considered pitching for another team?
Yeah, that's a good question. And that's one reason why I've got to be the easiest and also the hardest person to work with from an agent standpoint ever, because, you don't have to go around to 30 teams and call and doing this and that because they know I want to come here. He knows I want to come there. But also, it's, from a negotiating standpoint, you don't have 29 other teams calling and making competitive offers. But, we did consider it a little bit just because we knew that the young pitchers with the Cardinals were very, very talented, and we also knew that the free agent market had some really good starting pitchers on there. So, the meetings start today, if I'm not mistaken. And I told Jenny the other day, if Mo calls and says, "Hey, we just signed Cole Hamels and Garrett Cole," I would have to be okay with that, because what it took for us to come back was the assurance of being in somewhere that we knew, comfortable with the Cardinals, somewhere that we love, but also, strangely, I only wanted to play for the Cardinals, but if I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't have gone anywhere else on a 1-year deal probably. But if somebody would have called with a 2-year deal in a really nice place that had a chance to win, I would have had to consider it, just for what you can do with that money that you've been received. My financial advisor would have slapped me in the mouth and told me, how many mouths we could have feed or houses we could have built for people who need it with that money if I had turned it down. So it would have been something to think about for sure, Mark. I don't know how that goes until you don't know how you're going to react to something until it's presented to you. But that's a really long answer for a short question, I know, but that was exactly my thoughts behind it.
Good answer.
Hey, Wayno, Commish here. Congratulations. Have you been in...
No old jokes, please.
I'll give you a waiver today. Have you been in concert with Molina about this, and perhaps you two will ride off into the sunset after next year, or is that not even a possibility?
I said no old jokes, man.
Not even a joke.
Yeah, it's right. It's not. We have not discussed among each other riding off to the sunset in retirement. We have discussed going on trips to Europe and stuff together, but seeing sunsets there maybe. But oh yeah. Oh well, never mind. My wife says my daughter Macy has already committed to living in a giant house with the Molinas and their daughter Ariana. So there you go. We have not discussed at length. We've said things here and there, but we have not.
Okay.
We have not discussed at length what's going to happen.
So you're playing it 1 year at a time at this point, huh? And so is he, I guess.
I'm playing it this year at a time at the moment. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
This year in September and October especially was the first time in 3 years that I felt like I was a force out on the mound. It was an incredible feeling to go out there with a plan in place, but be able to alter that if I see a hitter adjusting or whatever. But while having that plan and making on-mound adjustments, being confident in my ability to go out and get the job done at the end of the season, especially in October, was higher than it has been in at least 3 years. Dating to 2014 is probably where I felt that amount of confidence. So, or 15, probably 2015. I was pretty confident in 2015. But that used to be my strength, and that was something that, when you're hurting, it's hard to have that level of confidence. And it took me a few months this year to really buy into the fact that I was healthy again and belief in my ability. And once I did that toward the end of the year, man, I really started feeling like things fell in place. So mentally, and I'll tell you another honest truth behind that. There was two people that had a big hand in that. from opposite ends of the spectrum. One, Chris Carpenter. You know, he pulled me aside at 2 different times during the season and said, "You need to trust yourself because your stuff is good again, and you need to go out there confident." And it's one thing to say that, and it's another thing to believe that. And he did it again later on the season. But you know who also had a big hand in that, which was so cool, just from being an elder statesman and seeing a young guy blossom like this. But Jack Flaherty did the exact same thing to me this year. He in late August, he pulled me aside, which took some, it takes some cojones to do that to a 14-year vet when you're a second-year player. And he said, "We need you to be what you can be, and I think you can be better than you've been, and you need to believe in yourself again." And it was kind of like right out of Chris Carpenter's mouth, like it was such a good challenge for me. I met him with that. With at first, like I wanted to kind of rustle up my feathers and kind of give him a stare down, but I kind of looked at him and I was just like, you know what, you're right, you're exactly right. And I carried that into September, and those 2 guys believing in me and giving me their honest feedback really helped me.